Creeper, and today I'm back with another Doctor Who Series 12 video. Everything we know about Doctor Who Series 12, Episode 4, Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. This episode is coming out on the 19th, so this Sunday. And there's a bit of information about it. We don't have too much about it, but we've got enough photos to go off. We've got enough information to go off to kind of give the general sort of gist of whatever this episode is going to be about. I'm quite excited for this one, so yeah, let's talk about it. Nina Metavir is writing this episode. She script edited The Woman Who Fell to Earth and It Takes You Away last year. That's her only Doctor Who writing credits as a sort of script editor, but this is her first proper episode written by her, so hopefully it'll be good. That'll be a nice laugh. It's directed by Nida Manzoor, who is also directing, I think, episode 5 as well, which I believe is the Judoon one. The synopsis for this episode is as follows. It is 1903, and on the edge of Niagara Falls, something is wrong at Nikola Tesla's generator plant, where someone or something is sabotaging the maverick inventor's work. Has Tesla really received a message from Mars? And where does his great rival Thomas Edison fit into all these events? The Doctor and her companions Yaz, Ryan and Graham must join forces with one of history's greatest minds to save both him and planet Earth. Yeah, a very interesting synopsis there. Gives us a little bit of information. We know we're going to be visiting the sort of generator plant at Niagara Falls, as well as New York, which is obviously a main setting that we saw in the Next Time trailer, the Coming Soon trailer, and the sort of general information we have about this episode from interviews. So there's two big locations there, which will be quite interesting to see, especially in this era. Two big historical figures as well, Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. We'll talk about those in just a bit. But yeah, the synopsis is quite a sort of interesting one. I am quite excited to see where this is going to go. It doesn't give us too much, again, doesn't spoil anything, but gives us enough of an insight where it's sort of, yeah, I mean, it's exciting enough, that's all. Goran Vishnik, probably butchered that name, is playing Nikola Tesla, and Robert Glenister is playing Thomas Edison. Two very big historical figures there, two historical figures that I'm very excited to see about. Two historical figures that I actually don't know too much about personally, because I've never really studied into them, looked into these people. I know vaguely who they are and what they sort of did, but that's what Doctor Who's about. This is sort of the educational thing that people are talking about, is by having an episode revolved around these historical figures, you're going to learn a little bit about them. So I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing what we get from that. Anjali Mahindra is playing Queen Skithra. We believe the Skithra are going to be the monsters of this episode. We're going to talk about them in just a minute, but we believe the Queen one, as played by this actress here, is the one in the trailer, the one that people thought looked like the Rachnos. I don't know if it's going to have any relation to the Rachnos. I'm still doubting that it will. However, I still think it looks quite good, interesting, exciting, whatever. Anjali Mahindra also played Rani in the Sarah Jane Adventures. I'm sure that's been pointed out 110 times before to everyone else who's watched these sorts of videos or been on Twitter or just known anything about Doctor Who or the actress herself. So yeah, it's quite exciting to see her back on screen, albeit as a different character, but either way, exciting. The monsters of this episode seem to be some sort of giant sort of scorpions. Again, could be related to the Rachnos, how the Rachnos are sort of giant alien spiders. The Skithra could be giant alien scorpions. These look as if they're also able to shapeshift as well, which is quite interesting. I don't know how true that is, but looking at the sort of, I think the Coming Soon trailer, I think it was, you can see a couple of shots of men in sort of robes with red eyes, and then one of their faces sort of morphs. I think 13 actually talks over the top of the trailer saying they could be anyone, be anywhere, you know. So kind of that sort of shapeshifter type look is quite exciting. I quite like the idea of an alien race shapeshifting and looking quite, you know, especially with the new Who CGI budget. The face morph from the sort of trailer looked like something out of It. I don't know if you've seen It Chapter 1, at least, anyway, the first one. There's sort of like, there's a sort of monster in that film which looks a little bit like the face morph here, and I thought that was quite interesting how the CGI looks almost similar to that of like a Hollywood film. So that's actually quite interesting. So yeah, props to them for that. It does look quite exciting. It could be quite scary, hopefully. But yeah, I'll be interested to see exactly where it goes with that. When Chibnall was doing interviews before Series 12 started, he did talk specifically about this episode, saying there was a night in Tesla's life where there are huge electrical storms, rumours of flying saucers. He talks about how he's received contact from aliens. We're just really interpreting the facts. Tesla was an underappreciated scientific genius who also claimed in real life that he received messages from Mars. So basically taking something like a sort of conspiracy type thing, people could say, oh, Tesla was just making it up, but then you pick that up and go, oh, alien, you can make a Doctor Who story out of that. So that's quite interesting, and yeah, I quite like that. I know the Shakespeare Code isn't the best example, but I look at the Shakespeare Code and go, it's clever what they did with that. They sort of give a Shakespeare play, or he's writing a play that never actually made it out, what's going to happen. It's playing on actual history and sort of giving a sort of Doctor Who-y, alien-y sort of definition for why this thing never happened or why this thing did happen. But yeah, that's that. I think we'll talk about the photos for this episode quickly. There's not too many, but you know, not too many varying ones. A lot of just stationary shots showing the costumes and the location and all that sort of thing. But yes, we may as well talk about it. The first one is of Ryan in some sort of historical gear. All the TARDIS team this time round seem to be wearing sort of era-appropriate suits, other than Jodie, of course, who's just wearing her standard Doctor costume for this episode, which, you know, makes total sense. We have had 2 episodes of this series already where she's been wearing a tuxedo, so you don't want to lose that actual Doctor costume, you know what I mean? So I can kind of see why she hasn't changed this time. But it's nice to see the TARDIS team getting historical wear, because obviously I think it was the Witchfinders last year that I was so confused as to why no one brought up how different the TARDIS team looked. Like, Ryan, Yaz and Graham looked totally different to anyone else around there, and it was never brought up or questioned once. So it's going to be interesting now to see the TARDIS team actually do, you know, actually change into something that is more era appropriate. So yeah. The 2 shots side by side here, it looks like some sort of, I don't know, building or train or something, but it looks like Jodie and Tosin are almost looking at each other through the 2 photos that were shown back to back. This shows the 13th Doctor holding a weapon, which is really, really suspicious, and I didn't really want to get into this because it's a bit of a weird one, because everything in this episode sort of makes sense. Yeah, big alien scorpion things that can shapeshift, Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, etc. And then you get this gun, which is literally a Silurian gun. I think a lot of people pointed this out on Twitter earlier this week. I think it is just a case of reusing old props to make a new weapon, but it looks suspiciously like the Silurian gun. I'll hopefully have a little image on screen there. My personal opinion on this is I don't think it will have anything to do with the Silurians. If it does, it will just be a one-line mention that it's like stolen tech, because obviously the Silurians come from Earth. If it's just tech left over that someone's nicked and taken as their own technology, then that could be what that's about. I think it's either going to just be a throwaway line or it will just be a reused prop. So yeah, I don't think it's going to have any major Silurian, you know, I'm not expecting a Silurian to show up or something like that. That would be a bit too weird. But yeah, interestingly enough though, because if you look at the design, it is basically the same other than the sort of the firing mechanism. Got a great shot here of some sort of rally of sorts, which we see a few photos from, but we get a good shot of the whole TARDIS team here, again, other than Jodie, in era-appropriate clothing, alongside a woman who I don't know the name of, and Nikola Tesla. Interesting stuff, yeah, nothing too much to analyse there. Everyone looks quite smart and, you know, era-appropriate, again, other than the 13th Doctor. A photo here within the sort of rally space with Graham standing at the front there looking dapper, if I do say so myself. You've got, yeah, no to the death current, no AC. Something regarding electricity. I'm not a big historian in regards to this era or this sort of topic area, so I don't really know too much about that. However, you know, it can be expected. It's going to be around the sort of debate between Edison and Tesla. I think Edison in the trailer actually did want to have the Niagara Falls thing shut down, so yeah, interesting. Another street shot here of Graham, Ryan and 13 there. Nothing too much to analyse, again, just walking down the street in New York. Thomas Edison here in front of his, well, it tells you, I don't have to read it out, but I'm going to anyway, the Edison Electric Illuminating Company, standing in front of that, sort of showing off a little bit. We don't really see too much about Edison in these photos or the trailers, but, you know, I'm going to guess he's going to have some sort of major part to play, because it's a big rivalry in history, isn't it, between Tesla and Edison. Again, a rivalry that I actually don't know too much about, so I can't really comment on. However, yeah, good stuff. Another shot of this woman, who I actually don't know the name of, so yeah. A great shot here of Edison walking seemingly angrily with the newspaper. Looking at the newspaper, it just has Edison shut down Tesla on it, New York Bugle, but nothing really else that I can see other than work of Edison's rival. Yeah, so it's probably an article about Tesla and Edison, and he's probably just kicking off about that, but again, can't really look too much into it because it's just a photo. 13 seems to be reading some sort of results of sorts, some sort of wave frequency, whether that's sound, electricity, etc. But she's reading that off some sort of strip of paper with that woman again in the background. You can kind of see some of the lines on the bit of paper that sort of drifted off the side of her hand there. But other than that, Not really sure. Great shot of Toast in there in the TARDIS, probably on the stairs by the looks of it, but yeah, looking good. And a fantastic shot here of Nikola Tesla in the TARDIS, so we know this is going to happen at some point, and that is quite an exciting prospect. So yeah, another shot here. This will be one of the villains, presumably, that we saw from the trailer with the sort of black hoods. And they look like they're using the sort of guns that we thought may be of Silurian descent. But yeah, seemingly hiding in black robes. I don't know why, if they can shapeshift, but yeah, whatever. And then the shot from the other angle, which again looks to be a sort of train of Tesla, 13, and the sort of main TARDIS team as well, and probably a few other people. Looking quite shocked, or scared, or worried, I don't really know, but it looks like it's a train again from the first few shots of 13 and Ryan on that sort of train carriage looking at each other, but also the previous shot of the sort of hooded man as well also does look like it could be the same train carriage looking at the ceiling. So yeah, very interesting stuff. That's all we have in terms of photos. Sorry it hasn't been too analytical. I can't really look into something that I don't know too much about, especially in sort of historical context, and I don't really want to get stuff wrong, because you know what YouTube's like. You say one wrong thing and you get bombarded by comments. So yeah, I'm going to try and stay out of that. I'm looking forward to sort of learning about Tesla, Edison, and all this sort of era stuff within the episode itself. I'm looking forward to this one quite a bit. There's not been much on word of sort of early reviews or early sort of sneak peeks or whatever, but Morgan Jeffrey, who used to work for Digital Spy, I believe, did put out a tweet which says, "It is my spoiler-free pleasure to tell you that Doctor Who is very good this week." So I'm expecting something that at least steps up from last week's Orphan 55, which, as you may know if you saw my review, I wasn't an enormous fan of. So yeah, I'm quite excited. Should be good, hopefully. Crossing my fingers. But yeah, we'll see. And I will see you with my review of Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror on Sunday after the episode's aired. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment below for any more suggestions in the future. Subscribe to the channel with notifications on if you haven't already. We've got a Patreon page if you want to support the channel, and a Discord server if you want to join the conversation about Doctor Who Series 12 and beyond. That's pretty much it from me. I hope you had a lovely day, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.